and welcome back to That's What You Think. Now, this week I am super excited because I am sharing with you guys everything that you should pack in your hospital bag. Now, for this week we are going to split this part into two different parts, okay, because there's a lot that you need to pack and it's a lot to take in just for one video. So for the first video we are going to be talking about everything that you need to pack in your hospital bag for the newborn baby, okay, just for the baby. Don't worry about you for the moment. That will be in part 2, which is to follow this video. But for now, roll the titles.
That's what you think.
So, like I said, this week we are going to be concentrating on what to pack in your hospital bag for your new baby. Now, I do have a lot of things to go through today. I'm going to quickly run through a list of everything I've got on my table in front of me, and then we're going to go through each thing individually, and I'll explain a little bit about why it's important and why you need to pack that specific thing in your hospital bag. Okay, so I'm going to start from this side of the table. We've got a blanket, we've got baby moisturiser, head to toe wash, ready-made formula milk in little bottles, baby grows, hats, mittens, bibs, socks, wipes, nappies, booties, a little toy, Sleepsuits, muslin cloths, and we've got obviously the bag that everything needs to go in as well. So we're going to kick it off with our first item. So the first item, ladies and gents, is probably the most obvious one. Not many people will forget this one, but it's worth just mentioning anyway. That's why I've put this one first, and that of course is your nappies. Now, ladies and gents, don't forget to put nappies in your hospital bag. My biggest piece of advice when packing your hospital bag, whether it's for you or for your baby, always plan to stay in overnight. I know a lot of you won't ever need to. You'll be sent home the same day, providing you and baby are okay. But it's always good just to plan ahead, just in case that does happen. Then you're not in a rush and you're not sending people home to pick other stuff up for you, okay? I will always take a whole packet of newborn nappies. They're size 1. The ones I use are Loopy-Loo ones from Lidl. They are super cheap, but they are really soft. They're absolutely wonderful for newborns, and they don't send your budget through the roof either. They are really cheap. The other brand that I also love are Mamia from Aldi. They're really good as well. Same sort of thing as the Loopy-Loo ones, super cheap, super absorbent, super friendly on newborn baby bums, and they are just absolutely wonderful. But obviously there are hundreds of brands out there. You will find which one suits you better. The hospital does always have spare nappies, but it's good just to take your own as well. Okay, item number 2. Now, item number 2, ladies and gentlemen, again is quite an obvious one. It's one, again, if you remember in nappies, not many people are going to forget this, but it is the baby wipes. Now, don't forget to take baby wipes with you, ladies and gents. Super important, because these are not just good for changing baby's bum. These can clear up spills and everything else, and they're also good for when you're in labour as well and you just need a quick pat down, especially if you're getting a bit too hot. Again, these are Loopy-Loo from Lidl. They are fantastic. They are pretty much all water. There's nothing in them that's going to harm your baby. I either use these or aqua wipes. Now you can get aqua wipes or water wipes. Sometimes they're called different things, but they are pretty much 90% water. But yeah, these are absolutely fantastic and really good if you're on a budget as well. Now, on to the next one. Now, the next one is a little bit odd, ladies and gentlemen. Now, like I said, it's always good to think of every eventuality that could happen while you are in hospital. Now, as well as the fact that you could stay in We've also got the topic of how you're going to feed your baby. So I know a lot of you watching this are adamant that you are going to breastfeed your baby. That's amazing. I plan to do the same. I did with all 3 of mine. However, it's always good to take the next item, just because sometimes your breast milk doesn't come through straight away, or baby can have a problem latching on and needs a little bit of practice, and you still need to make sure that your baby's getting fed. So we've got these here. Now, like the formula that you can get in powder forms, these come in ready-made bottles, and they are ready to just be poured into a bottle and given to your baby. Now, my favourites are Crown Gate, because you can use these to top up while you're breastfeeding as well. It's not going to wean your baby off of your breast milk and only onto formula. So these are absolutely fantastic. These are my favourites. I found a lot of the other brands can be a little bit rich or too much for newborn babies, and they can make your baby sick. But again, there's hundreds of brands of these out there. I think the ones they have in the hospital are SMA. But obviously you will find your own favourite brand. But yeah, it's always good just to pop a couple of those into your hospital bag. Now, next one. So the next one I want to talk about, ladies and gents, is probably one of my favourites, and it is your baby's first blanket. Now, many of you will be looking at me and going, yes, but the hospital has blankets. Why do we need to take our own? The hospital does have blankets, you're right, and they will wrap your baby up and they will keep your baby warm. However, you're not going to be able to take that blanket home. Alright, if you take your own blanket, whether it's brand new or it's a family heirloom that's been passed down for generations to generations, they've then got this for their entire lives. So you can bring them home in this, they can grow up with it. My children still have all 3 of their baby blankets that they still cuddle at night time when they go to bed. These are absolutely fantastic, and obviously it's something for you to then say when they're a little bit older, you had that when you were a baby. I got this one, got a bit of a Lion King theme going on with this baby, but I got this one from Primark. They have some lovely baby blankets, and this one's got a lovely fleece inline as well. So yeah, do choose carefully and choose something that you want your child to grow up with. But yeah, and they look great in the first photos as well. So, on to the next one. So the next one, ladies and gents, is actually, again, really obvious. Not many people are going to forget this at all. Now, like I said, I tend to think of any eventuality. So I always plan to stay in hospital overnight, even if I'm not, okay? So when packing the next couple of things, I always pack 4 of each, alright? Now, if you pack 4 of each of these, it will eliminate any stress when there is an accident, or if there's a mess, or if you do have to stay in. It will just make sure that you are prepared and you've got everything that you need, okay? And we are, of course, talking about baby grows. So, baby grows are these ones here. Baby grows have got short sleeves and they've got no legs attached to them, okay? Usually done up by snackers at the bottom. Now, it's always good to have 4 of these. Now, I have 2 with the little sleeves, and I also have 2 vest type ones. So these ones here. And they don't have the sleeves, and these are good for warmer weather as well. Also, when you're packing your hospital bag, think about packing for all different types of weather. Think about what time of year you are having your baby and what the weather's going to be like, okay? So I'm due on the 13th of September, so it's going to be quite hot. So a lot of the clothes that I've picked out are for warmer weather. But it is always good just to have a little contingency plan and always have something in there for if it is a cold day as well, because obviously it's Great Britain here. The weather's unpredictable. No one knows what's going on half the time. So it's always good just to be prepared for any eventuality in that case. And that brings us on to the next one. So for the next one, guys, it follows on from the baby grows, and we've got the sleep suits and the first outfits. Now, sleep suits are these ones here. Okay, so sleep suits are the full body, full legs, full arms, usually have feet attached. If they don't, you just pop some little socks on. And it's always a really, really good idea to have 4 of these as well. Now, for the first ones that baby's going to wear, I like to have quite colourful ones or like some fun ones, because you're going to be getting a lot of photos in the hospital. You're going to be taking loads of photos when the baby's newborn. And you want to dress them up nice as well. You want to dress them up nice and make them look great. So it's always nice just to have some fun ones as well as some plain ones as well, just in case. So we've got this one here. I've also packed a little hungry caterpillar outfit. So remember, like I said, guys, my outfits are packed for warmer weather because I'm due in September. So please just adapt your outfits around when you're giving birth and what the weather's going to be like. So if you're going to be having your baby in, say, November, December, these probably aren't going to be suitable for you, or you're going to need something over the top, like a little jacket. So we've got R2-D2 as well. And we've also got a little outfit. Now, my next point, ladies and gents, before we move off of what clothes to take, so we've got a little Mickey Mouse outfit there. Okay, now, I've got a little tip before we move off of the clothes, ladies and gents. Now, it's always good when you're bringing your sleep suits and your baby grows and stuff like that to bring different sizes. You never know what size your baby's going to be born at, okay? Now, all 3 of mine were different. My son, who's my oldest, was £6 9.5. My middle one then went all the way down to £5.12. She was tiny. And then the last one was £6.7. So no one ever knows how big their baby's going to be when they come out. So it's always good to have a tiny baby outfit packed. Tiny baby outfits tend to go up to £7 to £7.5. Okay, and then we've got some newborn ones. These are the newborn ones that I held up. And then we've got the 0 to 3 months. Now, there is a difference between newborn and 0 to 3 months, guys. Okay, newborn is smaller, 0 to 3 lasts a little bit longer. Okay, so please just bear in mind, like, pack for tiny babies and pack for bigger babies as well. Now, moving on. Moving on, ladies and gents, we have got our next item. So we're going to move on to some of the smaller things that maybe would get overlooked or overseen when packing your hospital bag. And a lot of people do forget them, and that's fine. That's what I'm here for. Now, our next item is, of course, mittens. Now, ladies and gents, we have got 4 different pairs of mittens here. Now, I always pack 4 pairs. Mittens go on the baby's hands, so they'll be going near the mouth and they will be getting dirty really quickly, so it's always good just to have spares. Quick life hack for you parents. I know, I'm going to start throwing them at you now because I've got quite a few from this point onwards. Mittens are a pain in the backside to wash, as well as socks and booties and any other tiny little baby things. Now, my life hack for washing any of these smaller objects is put them in a pair of tights that you don't need anymore, or a net drawstring wash bag, or even a pillowcase tied up with a hairband or some string. Pop them in the wash. You can put them in the dryer like that as well. Also, to make sure that you're not losing them, because mittens and socks and all that sort of stuff are the top rated things of going missing with parents, and it drives us all mad. So I've come up with this great life hack to make sure that we are not losing them anymore. So when they come out of the wash and they're all dry and they're all fresh and lovely, take one of them, fold it in half like this, and then just pop it in the top of the other mitten. And then you can put them in the drawers like this, or in a bag, or wherever it is that you keep your baby's mittens. You can keep them together like this, and then you're not going to lose the other mitten. Okay, so you are welcome. But yeah, pack 4 pairs at least of mittens, because you are going to need them. So that leads us on to our next one. So our next one, like I mentioned, guys, is pairs of socks. Now, if you've got the Sleepsuits with the feet, maybe you're not going to need them, maybe you are. It's always good to have them just in case. Again, I've got 4 different pairs. Always fold one of the socks into the other one. Just make sure you don't lose them as well. And these can be washed the same way as your mittens. So make sure you're taking socks, guys, because you never know when you're going to need them. Alright, nice quick tip, and that leads us very nicely on to the next one. So our next one is little booties. Now, I've only got 2 pairs of booties that I'm packing, because obviously the Sleepsuits have got feet, but obviously we've got a couple of little outfits as well that don't have feet to them. So we've got socks, and now we've got booties as well. So I've got a little blue pair like this. The booties should always be soft, okay guys? Please don't pick them any hard shoes for straight away, because they're not good for their feet, okay? Always pick nice slippery soft ones, okay? Now, we have got another life hack for you here, guys. I know I'm full of them today. Now, with little booties, it can be a bit of a pain sometimes, especially if they're like these ones, and they're matching, they're together. It's not so bad if you've got a load of white ones, but these ones obviously go together. So grab a safety pin, guys, little safety pin them together, and then you're not going to lose them, and you're going to still have a matching pair of booties. If you pick a small enough safety pin, it doesn't leave a massive hole in your baby booties. It's not going to ruin them, but it does keep them together and all in one place. Alright, so there we go, another life hack for you guys. Now that leads us on to, we've only got a few left now, guys, but that leads us on very nicely to our next one. Now, our next one, guys, is a bit of an odd one, and a lot of people won't have thought about it or anything like this. Now, I am, of course, talking about our baby lotion and our head to toe wash. Now, yes, the hospital will have soap for your baby, for you to wash your baby with. If you have to stay in and you have to bath your baby, yes, they've got soap and it's great and wonderful, whatever. But the stuff that's at the hospital is only wholesale stuff. It's not going to be the best stuff for your baby. I recommend just grabbing one each of these and just popping them in your hospital bag just in case. My favourite brand for babies is Baby Dove. Now, Dove are absolutely fantastic for baby stuff. They've got a whole baby care range. Anything from like soaps to shampoos to lotions. All this lovely stuff to put in the bath for your baby. And obviously Dove is such a fantastic make. Everyone's heard of it. At the moment, Boots and Superdrug have an amazing deal on for these. So make sure you're stocking up. These are super cheap anyway. But it's always nice just to get a bit of a deal. But yeah, pop these in your hospital bag. Make sure you've got them. Because obviously you want to be bathing your baby in the best. You don't want soap that's maybe going to damage their skin, because they are quite sensitive when they're newborn. Alright, so Dove Baby. Moving on. So the next one, guys, is again really important because this is going to be the first thing that is put on your baby, because when it's first born, it's just going to get wrapped in a blanket. The nurses will wrap it in a blanket and they will hand your baby to you. The first thing that's going to be put on your baby is a hat. Now, I would suggest, again, taking your own. The hospital will put a hat on your baby. Don't worry if you haven't got a hat yet. I would suggest taking your own though, because again, you have to give the hat that the hospital puts on your baby back. Whereas with these, you can take them home, the baby can grow up, and you can explain to them that this was their first hat when they were in hospital. I've got a couple just in case. I've got a little knot top one and one with ears just because. Now, these do look tiny, but I promise you guys, when you get into hospital, 9 times out of 10, these will be too big for your baby. But they actually do look really cute when they're quite baggy. So don't panic if they don't fit straight away. The baby will grow into them. Alright, guys? Moving on. So, moving on, we've only got about 3 items left, guys, so thank you for sticking with me. We've got bibs. Now, these are quite controversial for a hospital bag item. I would always say at least just pack 2. Just pack 2, I've got 2. And it's just because when you're in hospital, like I said, you're going to be taking loads of photos. And you're going to have your lovely new outfits that you want to dress your baby in, and you're going to have loads of time for like photos and cuddles and stuff like that. The last thing you want is massive great big milk stains or dribble stains down the front of that brand new outfit, and getting in the way of all your beautiful photos. So always just grab a couple of bibs, pop them in your hospital bag. Also as well, guys, sometimes with newborns, when you're feeding them, whether it's from a bottle or whether it's breastfeeding, sometimes the flow can be a little bit too fast for them, and it takes a little while for them to get used to it, so they do dribble quite a lot. So bibs are always a really, really good one, and also it goes along with the next item as well, because these are also really good for that. So on to the next one. Okay, so the next one, guys, again, is one that not many people will think about. To put in the hospital bag is really, really important, because these are the most universal things ever, and I use these for everything. They're great, like I said before, they're great for spills, they're great for cleaning up milk, they're great for being like a really lightweight blanket if it's really hot. I'm going to hold it up now. Let me just show you. Now, it does just look like a really big square of fabric with the Lion King on, and essentially that's all it is. It's a really thin square bit of fabric, but these are called muslin cloths, okay? And muslin cloths are amazing for pretty much everything. Essentially most women use them for when you're burping the baby, so you would fold them in half, pop them over your shoulder, and then burp the baby, and if they do sick up, it will go on the muslin cloth and not on your clothes. But again, they have several different uses. You will find this as a parent, you'll find uses for them for absolutely everything. So I do get quite excited by a good muslin cloth. I love it, and they do help. So life hack, not just for your hospital bag, make sure you've got one in your changing bag at all times as well, and you will find it the most helpful thing on the planet. Now we have got just two more things, guys, so let's move on. Now for the next one, guys, I would always suggest grabbing your newborn baby a little toy, just to pop in their cot with them when they're first born, and then obviously this is something for them to grow up with as well. My 3 now are 10, almost 9, and 7, and they still sleep now with their first ever baby toys that they had in hospital. So it is a big thing. They do fall in love with them. They are literally their best friends for life. I've gone with the little bunny with the blanket, but any small toy will do. Just make sure that it hasn't got any sort of beads or anything on it, or anything that could come off and go in baby's mouth, because that's really, really important. So make sure that whatever toy it is you are giving them, whether it's been passed down through the family or whether it's something brand new, make sure that of course it is baby safe. All right, now on to the last one. Now the last one, ladies and gents, is probably the most obvious out of all of these, and it is of course the bag that everything has to go in. Now we've picked a lovely big bag. This is the bag that goes with our pushchair, so this is a Casato bag. They're really, really good, really spacious. Now I promise you all of the stuff that I've held up today actually fits in this bag. It's brilliant. So make sure you've got a big enough bag for everything to fit in. The last thing you want is to pack your hospital bag and then have a load of carrier bags that you're carrying as well. It just doesn't work, especially when you're in labour and you're off to the hospital. You've got enough things going on to remember already. So just make sure you've got a nice big bag, fit everything in, and then you know for a fact that you haven't got to worry about anything. I would suggest packing all of the clothes and the socks and all of like the clothing and the blanket and everything. Pack them first. Then pop all the hard things like the formula milk and the soaps and stuff to the sides of the bag, and then make sure the nappies and the wipes are on the top, because obviously you're going to need these before you're going to need outfits. Alright guys, that's it for part 1 of what to pack in your hospital bag. If there is anything that I've missed out that you packed or that you've already got packed for your hospital bag, drop it in the comments below, because I would absolutely love to see what you guys are packing as well. Send me some pictures, message me, and we will give you a mention in the next video as well. Other than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and click that bell if you haven't already, and I will see you next time for part 2, what to pack in your hospital bag for you and your birthing partner. But for now, ta-ra!
You think